tell and stories sell. If you want to sell something, you better be a pretty good storyteller. Am I right? Capiche? Hello again, everyone. I'm Eli's dad with Project Eli, where we educate, we lead, and we inspire. And since facts do tell and stories do sell, once again, people forget facts, but they remember stories. Okay, so I've given you, this is our second video on storytelling, and this time I want to tell you another story, and then we'll go over a couple of points about you being a speaker, a storyteller, so that you can add to your repertoire and become a better storyteller. So let me tell you this story. This story has to do with how life is unfair. All right, because when kids are growing up, you know, well, you did that to me, that's not fair, and then parents correct that. But one of the most important lessons that people have to learn when they mature and they become adults, Eli, is that life is not always fair. So here's the story I want to tell you. The story concerns three people out playing golf. One was Moses, one was Jesus, and one was an old man. So they step up to the tee and Moses goes first. He hits the ball and it goes right into the lake. He puts his head down. He says, "Oh, I can fix that." All right, and he walks over to where the lake is, you know, the water hazard on the golf course. All right, and he goes like this and he parts the waters. And he walks over to his golf ball. He takes a swing and he hits it right on the green. Wow. So then Jesus comes up, he grabs his golf club, he hits the ball, boom. That one goes into the drink also. He found the water hazard as well. No problem for Jesus. What does he do? He walks up to the water hazard. The ball's floating on top of the water. He walks across the water, takes out his club, hits the ball, and it goes right on the green. Wow. Then the old man comes up and he takes his club and he hits the ball, and this ball also goes into the water. But just as it's about to go into the water, a bird comes by looking for a fish, and the fish comes up out of the lake, swallows the ball. And the bird comes by, grabs the fish, goes up in the air and flies over to the green. And then it bites the fish, and the fish lets go of the ball, and it goes right into the hole. And then Jesus says to the old man, "Come on, Dad, can't you play fair?" Okay, once again, life isn't fair, and there's a story that illustrates that point. Let's go over a couple of points about you telling a story. First of all, and once again, Matthew Royce wrote this tremendously good article, 7 Things You Need to Know About Public Speaking. We're on number 3. Make eye contact with individuals. Eye contact is one of the primal ways of communicating. So says Clive Harmon, who's an English actor. Our eyes are an excellent way to effectively communicate. They're our windows to our soul. Your eyes are more powerful than you think, because eye contact is a powerful way to make a connection with your audience. Your eyes are critical to showing your confidence, establishing trust, and building an attachment with your audience. So instead of looking at your entire audience, focus on people within the crowd. Speak to their eyes and hold eye contact with them. Eye contact's a great way to not speak past your audience. Look one-on-one at as many people as you can in your audience. Make eye contact with one person and then move on to another person. It helps you realize that you're speaking to a group of individuals. When speaking to a room full of people, you need to appear comfortable. And making eye contact gives your attention to your audience, not your notes or your PowerPoint slides, or in my case, my computer. Okay? Make eye contact with one person, not a group of people. And as a tip, if you see some people in the audience that are smiling and nodding their head, make sure that you make eye contact with them, because they're going to be your biggest supporters. Point number 4, tap into the power of the pause. When you stop and you leave a space, when you have that pause, that accentuates your points. Comedians are the masters of the pause. They know when their ideas are going to be funny. They're great at captivating the audience with a pause. Watch your favorite stand-up. Watch how they master the pause. When you're speaking, you must pause between your sentences, okay? One of the things that I learned, and I'm meandering here from the text of the article because I feel strongly about this. I was taught this by my main mentor, Bob Anderson. When you're making a presentation, you want to remember SCS. Strong, concise, sincere. And as a structure of your speaking, you want to remember short, choppy sentences. You don't want to have one continuous long run-on sentence because it's very difficult for an audience to remember what you're saying when you're talking one continuous long run-on sentence. Does that make sense to you? Do you see what I mean? So if you speak in short, choppy sentences, you're going to be able to effectively make your points a lot better because it accentuates your points. Story I like to tell, oh, we get another story, is one of my other mentors, a man named Dan Less. We used to put ads in the newspaper we were looking to hire people. And when we hired people, we wanted people, first of all, if you're going to put an ad, in this case it was the Los Angeles Times, which you can imagine costs a pretty penny to place an ad. So you have like a little tiny ad, and you want to draw people from it. So, you know what Dan Less used to do, and I thought this was great. He would put his ad in the paper, and then he would bring over his little girl who was like 2 or 3 years old, and he would say, okay, sweetie, pick out Daddy's ad in the paper. And of course, the little girl didn't know how to read at that point, so she'd look around and she'd go, that one, okay? And she always picked out Dan's ad. How did she do that? Because Dan had white space in his ad, so it kind of stuck out from the page. The same thing is true when you have a pause in your speech, when you accentuate a key point. People will hear that better. Does that make some sense? All right? So, once again, when you're public speaking, when you're talking to a child telling a story, speak in short, choppy sentences. That lets them know that here's an idea. I want you to embrace the idea and I want you to retain the idea. Next, short, choppy sentence. And then when you speak in one long, continuous sentence, you're letting them know they can relax their conversation a bit until you get to the point where you pause and you accentuate that particular point. Does that make sense? Okay. Once again, huge shout out to Matthew Royce. Next time we get together, some more tips on public speaking, along with another story to share with you. And until that time, always remember, hey, don't ration the passion, fashion the passion. I'm Eli's dad.